This is Bill Badke. I'm a librarian at Trinity Western University, and I'm also your personal librarian for this course. I want to walk you through some of the features of our library homepage, our search tools, and other tools that are available to you as you want to do research for your course. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Just take a second here. And there we are on screen. And you will see this is the library homepage. We've got a number of features to this page. Probably the most prominent one is the big search box right there in front of the picture. And it's got all kinds of various options in it. And let me just walk you through that. Our Library OneSearch will search for all of the resources that we have available to you in print and electronically through the library. The Search Everything tab will enable you to search for books, articles, videos, all kinds of things, all together in one place. The Books tab will search just for books, print books, ebooks. The Articles tab will search for journal articles and magazine articles. We have a Databases tab, which will enable you to choose a particular subject area like leadership or communication, and find specific databases relevant just to that subject discipline. They will be smaller but more focused. Journal Finder enables you, if you come across a journal article and you're reading and you want to know whether we have it, you can click here to look up the name of the journal and see if we subscribe, and it will lead you to the right volume and issue number. Research Guides is a specialized area that I want to show you more directly. And so there you are. Down below, there is a How to OneSearch tab that will lead you to a guide to OneSearch that will enable you to be able to do the various functions that are available in OneSearch. We also have other things on our library homepage. Going past all the reminders and things, on the left you will see there are a number of ways in which you can get help. You can ask a librarian. There's a research help email. You can get technical help if you're having trouble logging in or something seems to be down. You can use that. There's library hours here. We also have a number of tabs here that deal with particular areas. The research section is a repeat of some of the things up above and a few new things. The services, you can do things like interlibrary loan. You can get to your own personal library account to see what you have signed out. About, there's information on our COVID-19 response, all sorts of information there, hours, etc. Down below, there is a link to Google Scholar. It's possible to log into Google Scholar through our library homepage using your Trinity login and connect Google Scholar results with any resources that we have, articles, etc., so that you can instantly get the full text of them. Over here on the right, archives and special collections, our archives, historical records, etc. You can click on that. There's a lot of digitized material in there as well. All right, so I want to begin with Search Everything up here. And let's just look up, since it's right there, let's look up systemic racism. And so we're going to do a search on systemic racism, covering all kinds of resources. Now you notice the first thing that you find very often is an encyclopedia article, Start Your Research, an overview of the topic that you've been looking for. And that can be a very helpful thing. There's another topics link here as well. Down below, you'll find 2,900 results. Some of them are ebooks, like this one here. Some of them are journal articles. And so there's quite a mixed bag. It's a real problem dealing with 2,900 results. And so let's take a look at some of the limiters that are available to you. Suppose that you want ebooks on systemic racism. You can go to Limit To down the left side and click on ebooks. It will automatically reset the screen. you'll find that there's 48 ebooks listed. These are electronic books, and there's material here. I want to say a little bit about electronic books, though, because this can be a bit of a challenge. With journal articles, you can download the PDF and keep it, and save it to a file folder, and be able to use it again and again. With books, the publishers have restricted the kinds of things that you can download. Let me show you. PDF full text for a book, Systemic Racism, A Theory of Oppression. And you'll see that on the right, it really does look like a regular book publication. There is no download link that will enable you to download the whole thing. Instead, what I recommend is that you go to a particular chapter. So click on, in the contents on the left, a particular chapter. And then if you want to say, save that chapter and determine how much else you can save, click on the download link to the right. Download chapter, this will bring this up. You notice the number of pages available to download is 60. This chapter has 52 pages. So I can save that whole chapter, download it like a PDF, and it'll come down to the bottom of my screen here because I'm using Chrome. And there's your chapter. Everything's fine. It's all there. And so that's great. What if you want to do more than that? How much more can you download? Well, right now we have 8 pages left, it says here. And so that can be a bit of a problem. Something you can do is search within to find particular passages. And so this is a keyword search within the entire book. And that might help you to focus on a particular chapter, and thus you're able to take small snippets of things. You can also, like a regular book, do, in essence, a copy of a page. You do that by doing this kind of stuff with selecting it, and then you can copy that and throw it into a Word document. So that's possible to do. You can read it on screen. You can come back another day and perhaps be able to download a further section. There are some limitations to it. The big advantage with ebooks, of course, is that you don't have to come into the library campus or the TWU campus or the library building in order to get a hold of it. And so that is really helpful. You can do it from wherever you are, as long as you have an internet connection. So most of these have full text PDFs. Sometimes there's a link to the full text that's somewhere else. And there you have it. So 48 results. Let's move to scholarly peer-reviewed journals. To do that, I want to turn off the ebooks. And so there are limiters listed here. I click on the little X, the white X inside the dark background, and I get 2,900 results here. Okay, let's limit to scholarly peer-reviewed journals. There are 886 of these, and that might seem like a small number compared to Google results, but it's still a lot to deal with. Is there any way to limit this down and to focus on articles that are more specifically really on systemic racism? You notice how when you do a keyword search, there's a lot of stuff that really doesn't relate to exactly what you're looking for. In this case, there is a limit by subject on the left. I can click on systemic racism, and that will limit to 27 results. You notice it said 52 before, but there's some duplicates, exact duplicates removed. So we have 27 results. The subject looks at what the article is centrally about. And so these are the ones that are actually really focused on systemic racism. And you can, of course, save the PDF. You can open it like this, and then you can just use the regular download link up here and save it. So that's easy to do. You can also, in OneSearch, create your own citations to just about anything. I'm going to click on this title here. And over on the right, there is a cite link. Click on that, and you will see that you can create citations. All right. I'm going to take a little pause here for just a second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to give you an opportunity for just a few minutes, stop the video, and go into OneSearch and do a search on systemic racism and see how you can narrow it down. See if you can open up an ebook. See if you can download a journal article using those limiters. And I'll be back with you in just a second. All right, we're back. If you didn't pause, we're really back. I'm going to start sharing once again. And here we go. So we're back here. And I'm just going to go back to the result list once again. And point out a few other things that are going on here. You notice up here that it says it's sorted by relevance. Now that can be very helpful because it's like Google sorts by relevance, and usually good stuff comes to the top and the stuff that is less relevant sinks down below. Now that is not necessarily always the case. Remember that this is a computer algorithm that's determining whether stuff is relevant or not, and it doesn't always get it right. There are other ways of doing this though. One option is date newest. What this will do is sort them by the most recent going back in time. And so if you really want recent stuff, this is a good way to go. This one's July 2020. And so that's not too long ago since I'm doing this in September. And so that's an option. There is also over here a share button. Now that can be useful. Suppose you've done this search and you want to go away and do some other things, but you want to return to this search some other time and kind of recreate it without having to do it yourself. Save this link somewhere, and when you click on it, it will bring back this exact search once again. So you'll have exactly all of this stuff just the way it is, and you can carry on your work and do what you want to do. Remember, you can save citations by clicking here and using the cite function. And certainly if it's an article, you can save the PDF full text. I want to go back to the library homepage once again and point out something else that's available to you, and that's the research guides. Think of research guides as portals, as doorways into subject areas. Now, it's not clear to me what subject areas you are most interested in, but let's choose something like, say, leadership. So this is a research guide on leadership. What's involved here? First of all, under books, ebooks, some guides will say reference books or something like that. There are a lot of tools here that will give you basic information on all kinds of subjects in leadership. For example, we've got the massive 4-volume Encyclopedia of Leadership, which has all kinds of really good resources available to you. If I click on that, I can find this, I can search within, and perhaps I want to look at the leadership of Jesus. I can click on that, and I'll find all kinds of stuff here. And it looks like around page 767 seems to be the area that I'm most interested in. And so here's a fairly detailed article on the leadership of Jesus. And goes on for several pages here. And at the end, there's a bibliography. You might want to look up some of those things and find those kinds of resources. So that's available. Beyond that, journals and articles, these are the more specific, specialized journals. In the case of leadership, it's Business Source Complete. That's where the leadership journals are in. And while it's a smaller database, it's much more focused. and you can search for something like servant leadership or whatever. There are other databases here as well that we recommend. Usually the first one is the most important. We have videos. And so if you click on that, you'll get leadership videos from Academic Video Online. Links will get you to academic websites that deal with leadership. These are more scholarly kinds of websites. Gray literature deals with stuff that was published in other formats than traditional journals and articles. Writing and citing will enable you to find information on a particular style used by that particular subject area, and you'll get information on how to format. And getting help will get you contacts to email specific people and so on. And so our research guide's very, very useful, very helpful for most things that you want to deal with. All right, let's move back to the library homepage. I mentioned Google Scholar earlier, and while I don't recommend Google Scholar as a first choice because the results are very messy and it doesn't give you the opportunity to filter things very well, let's click on it. You'll have to log in if you're not already logged in, because through this link, you're connecting our resources and Google Scholar searches. Okay, I'm going to click on systemic racism. And I've got this search, systemic racism. You notice right away it's a very mixed bag. Here's a book. Here's what appears to be a journal article. There's all kinds of stuff here. It's often not easy to see what you're looking for. But the big advantage of logging in is that you have links to the article itself over here on the right. So if I click on this, it should bring me up the actual article. I can download the PDF, and there we go. So you wouldn't see those links if you went directly to Google Scholar. You have to do it this way, and then you have the connection. Google Scholar has a citation link as well. It's this little quotation mark underneath, and so you can find various citation formats available to you. All right, beyond that, Google Scholar can be a very good place to find all kinds of things because in this case, there's 25,000 results, but it's pretty difficult to be able to focus and narrow down because there are no limiters here that are worth anything. And so you really have to stick with the results that you get. Google Scholar is also good if you have a journal article and you want to know whether we have it. You can log into Google Scholar through our library homepage, type the name of the journal article here, and then you should be able to get a reference to it and see whether we actually have the full text over on the left. So that's our library homepage. And I want to stress to you that I am available to you at any point simply to help you, offer you guidance and support. I want to make sure that I am your point person for any kind of library resource needs that you have for this course. I'm going to end my share and end my video, and we will conclude at this point.